Good day everyone, I am Sophia and we will now talk about my philosophy in music education. The capo al coda or DC al coda, which means repeat from beginning to an indicated place and then play the tail part or the coda. It directs the musician to go back and repeat the music from the beginning and to continue playing until one reaches the first coda symbol. I came from the BSN or the nursing course, and the moment I transferred to this course, the BMME or the music course, I love to use this symbol in my social media accounts because this symbol reminds me that it is okay to go back from the beginning and start all over again until you reach the coda, or in other words, the climax or success in our lives. These are the topics that we will talk about today that is part of my philosophy in music education. First is we will talk about the value of music, next is the value of teaching music, and the last one is the music classroom. First is the value of music. I value music in a way of it has the ability to be our happy pill, to divert our mind from stress and discomfort, and it connects people. It can also be a new language where people who have the same interest can relate to each other. I have an experience where I became friends with a stranger just because we have the same vibes when it comes to music. This became our language until we became too close to each other. By the way, that stranger is my classmate. Music is so powerful because imagine there are lots of testimony from other people like me where music changed their lives. So I value that. I value music in a way of being our happy pill, diversion. It diverts our mind from sadness or being happy to if we want to be sad like that, and it connects people. Next is the value of teaching music. As a future music educator, the value of teaching music is like you are making a bridge for the students to help them focus on their goals, develop their hidden skills, and aside from her family, you are the only person who can boost her confidence and for her to become more successful than she thought she was. You are also leading the students to have a Christ-like character even if it's just music. I remember what our professors said to us that in teaching music, you are preparing the students to lead in heaven because this world or this place is just our training ground. To be music educator has a big responsibility because the success of every student starts in your tongue. Every word you speak is important, especially when we are practicing the Christ-like character in teaching music. We are the role model of every student, so we must act higher than their expectations. That is where I value music teaching. Next is the music classroom. Inside the music classroom, as a music educator, you have to stick with your own beliefs. Students' eyes are always direct to your actions and decisions. Therefore, to make it happen, do not make any actions that can make the students confused. The topic that caught my attention in learning the philosophies in this subject are the 4 basic philosophical viewpoints. First is the naturalism. In my own perspective, we teach music in a simpler way like naturalism. Everything is natural. The way we touch the black and white keys of the piano, the way we hold the violin, and the way we posture our body when performing in front of our students or performing in stage for recitals like that or special occasions. We have to maintain our body posture because we don't know, there are students that is very observant and they will observe you the way you stand in front of them and the way you perform, like that. Next is the idealism. We also have to stabilize every idea that pops up into our minds because that is what idealism talks about, the stability of ideas. Next is the realism. In these philosophical viewpoints, we must be practical in any way because that is what realism points out based on our lesson in this subject. Lastly, the pragmatism, where we have to be reasonable and think in a logical approach of doing things or thinking about problems that is centered on dealing with concrete events rather than theories and ideals. Yan. This affects my values, beliefs, and principles in life in a way that boosts my confidence as a music student because it gains my knowledge in teaching music to others someday. It challenges me to think outside the box and it helps me to be more creative in ideas. These realizations can be very helpful for me as a future music educator because just like the symbol, the capo al coda, even though I already reached my goal in life or I became a successful musician, I will always look back to the first step I took or the beginning of my journey to be more idealistic, efficient, and aspiring musician. So this is my philosophy in music education. Thank you for listening and I hope you learned something.